Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. I've got a new tool for the workshop. So I've been after one of these for quite some time, not particularly this one, but I've been looking at laser cutters and laser engravers for the best part of probably 2 years. And I've seen the prices just drop and drop and drop to a point where I thought, okay, that's actually a reasonable price. This is actually a Black Friday deal. By the time this video goes out, Black Friday will be well gone. But I'm going to be setting this up, playing with it, and seeing how we get on. So it's a Creality Falcon 22 watt laser. This was, as I say, a Black Friday deal, so it came with a few extras. So we've got the base for the cutting. We have another laser. I'm not quite sure why I've got a second laser, assuming there's 22 watt one in there, and it's not just separate. We've also got the enclosure as well. So when it goes over there, and on a previous video you would have known that I said I was rearranging that side of the workshop. Well, this was the reason why. And I say by the time this video actually goes out, this will hopefully be in place and doing several different bits and pieces. You might even see it on a video in the background before you see this video. But that would be a little bit of a sneak peek for you of this machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it opened up and get it up and running, and we'll go from there. So I'll do a bit of unboxing for you, show you exactly everything we have. But as I say, it's a Creality. Now, I do like Creality. I've had my Creality Ender 3 there for the best part of almost 10 years, probably. And it's never let me down. I've done a few little upgrades to it, 3D print upgrades and things. But I find it is an absolutely brilliant little 3D printer. It's certainly capable for what I use it for. So I've gone with Creality again with this one. I've seen quite a few good reviews about this one. So this is, I guess, my review of it. And as I say, unboxing all the bits we have here and setting it all up. So let's get into it. Let's get building.
Welcome to the workshop. Tools are ready to play. We're gonna build something great, starting here today. Piece by piece we go now.
Right, so as you can see, absolute mammoth box. Let's just get it open. I don't know how well this is actually going to show up on camera with this unboxing, considering it is so big. Right, now I'm led to believe that this is pretty much almost fully assembled in the box. There's very little setup to do. What I'm going to probably do is I'll take it out of the box for a minute and I'll put it back up onto the bench here. And then I'll set up a camera to basically put this in place over on the other workbench. So I'll show you this first. I'll just get it out of the box. Right, we'll start off by showing you the bits and pieces we have. So this is the actual laser itself. So I have the laser module just like that. And we've got all the different things on there to say what all the lights do. We've got several lights here. One of the things that I did like about this one, apparently it's got fire detection, it's also got air assist, and it tells you when the lens, I think, needs cleaning as well. I think that's what that one is. And for this price point that I had, it was pretty much one of the best ones up there, especially with this little air pump as well. So it's got air assist, and that just plugs into the engraver laser cutter. So you only need one power supply. So that's those bits. We have manuals, we have some tools, including a little SD card reader it looks like. Got brush there, we've got the level, so you can level the laser. We've also got some test material as well. So we've got 3 sheets there of some test material. Looks like maybe 2 or 3 mil ply. So get to play with it straight out of the box. We've got a brush. We have a USB A to C cable. We have some little extensions. These are for the legs. So you can obviously pick the height that you want. And obviously if you've got a bed that you're putting this over, which we do, then you can raise it up enough for that. So we've got this little stepped level, and just tells you which you're going to be doing. So cutting thickness, 6, 4 to 6, and 1 to 3. And that's also the engrave setting as well. And as I say, we've got the quick start guide as well. This will tell us how to set it up and get it all wired up and working. What else is in the box is a pair of glasses, and we have the power supply and the transformer. We have the 4 standard feet, and as I say, you can use these ones here to give you a little bit more height over the bed if you've got a bed. And then the final item we have in the box is the engraver, or the bed itself. And as you can see, we have this piece that moves backwards and forwards. We have this piece that the laser is going to sit on, or move side to side. If you ever used a 3D printer or anything, it's basically the same thing. We just got an X and Y axis, obviously no Z axis. We've got an actual key safety on off. We've also got a emergency stop as well, which is brilliant. Again, from the little safety things that this one has, it was certainly high up on the list of getting this particular one. They do different versions. Obviously the bed will probably be the same, but you can get different lasers for this. So I think there's a 10 watt and possibly a 40 watt. This one's a 22 watt. Obviously theoretically you could just get the laser and change this to whichever you want. This is the pipe for the air assist. So this will plug into the air assist module. And as I said, the laser itself, it's got 2 little thumb screws there, and it just slots in like so. And obviously you can adjust the height on that one based on the little item we have here, the little wedge. So I'm going to take that one out for a minute, because when I move this over into place, I won't have the laser in there. I'll take the bed over and then set it up over on the other workbench. But that's all the things that are in the big box. What I will do is take you through the other items that I've got with this one. So start off with this. And we have our grid. So this is when you're cutting out, then this can sit underneath the engraver, and it just means that you protect your workbench. So I just pull this out. As well as the grid that you can see there, you can see the blue. We actually have a sheet of metal as well. We can just take that blue plastic off. That, as I say, will protect the workbench, and I'll do that in just a moment. I'll take the plastic off that one. So that's the bed. Obviously, this isn't an essential item. You could theoretically just put another bit of wood down or something underneath whatever you're cutting, but this will obviously protect a little bit better. The next box we have, I believe, is the enclosure. So obviously with laser cutting and engraving, when doing things on wood, obviously it'll create quite a bit of smoke, and don't really want a load of smoke in the workshop. It will set the smoke alarm off for a start. So we have this enclosure, which does include a little pipe kit that you can stick out the window, and I believe there's a fan in here as well. I may be wrong. Nope. So we've got a fan as well, so it'll extract all the smoke out from the machine. Now I'm not going to open those completely. We've got some plastic connectors here. This is all basically metal pipework, as you can see. And we've got the instructions there, and you can see it's just a frame, and then we've got a material cover or enclosure. Now this is fireproof, I believe, and as you can see it's got a little window as well, and it's a tinted window, so it's safe for the lasers. That will cover the entire engraver, and there will be a hole or something. There's even a pocket there you can keep your tools in, which is quite good. Now this is going to be far too big to get on camera completely, but you can see obviously it's big enough to cover the entire printer or engraver. And here we have the hole for the extraction, which is again something that I liked about this particular kit and this particular deal. So that is the enclosure, and we'll put that back in the box. And then the last thing, I'm still not 100% sure on this one, why I've got a second laser. It must be that it does something else. And if you've got one of these, and by the time this video comes out anyway, I might have already worked it out, but if you've got one, let me know in the comments below. If I figure out what's going on with this, then I will obviously update this video as well. I'll probably do an updated video eventually anyway. So this is obviously a smaller laser. We'll compare it to the one that we got here. So 22 watt, and this is 1.6 watt. So presumably we can swap this out and do some smaller items. And again, this was like a freebie with the deal I got. So but obviously, as I said earlier, with this rail system, you can just swap lasers out as and when. So though I've got the 22 watt now, eventually I might be able to get the 40 watt and upgrade it. It's what I found actually. Even with the Ender 3, Creality seems to build in upgradability, which is great. It's not like it's just completely fixed, and that's what you have, and that's it. I do like that with Creality. Obviously, they are, as far as I'm still aware, they are all open source. So there's so many things out there that you can upgrade and update, because all their files, etc., are all there in the world, ready to go. So it is something I do like with Creality. And maybe if I do enough Creality things, maybe I'll start sponsoring the channel. You never know. But this definitely was not sponsored. I did pay for this, and as I say right at the beginning, it's something I've been looking forward to for quite some time, and certainly something I've been wanting to have the workshop for quite some time as well. So that's everything I've had in the box. I'm going to stop the video right there, and then next time you see it, I'll have it over, hopefully on the other workbench, and we'll have it in place with all this being assembled. Or and to be fair, when I say assembled, I think the only thing we need to do, put this in the cradle that I showed you earlier, and put the feet on the bottom, and obviously plug the cables in, and then plug in the air assist as well. Right, so I've managed to crowbar it into this position, and as you can see, it fits quite nicely. I've not used the extensions on the feet, and if I just tip it up, you can see that I've used different holes. There's 3 holes here, and there's 3 holes at the back as well. So these feet can be moved front to back. Obviously, if you've got a narrow workbench, then that's useful to position those so that it's not dropping off the front or the back of the workbench, and it means that the footprint is that little bit smaller. Obviously, the actual footprint of it is quite big. It's got to be getting on for 650 probably front to back. I haven't actually measured what the dimensions of this are, but I'll probably put that in the description when I come to do this video. So we've got it in this position now. We need to add the laser, and we've also got space for the air assist as well. I'll start off with the air assist. Now, it's going to be difficult to show you this, but we've got a plug here. In fact, what I'll do, I'll lift the machine up and I'll show you that first. So if I just turn the machine around, you can see that there's a plug just here, and we've actually got a positive, negative, or plus and minus here. This is for the airflow, but we've got the air pump plugs into there, and this will control, presumably through voltage, how much air pressure we have for that. Although looks to be 3 pins there, it might be positive, negative, and earth, or it could be a signal wire to say how quickly the pump runs. And this is our pump. And so we've got the connector on there, 3 pins in there. We've got a bit of plastic on the front here that we can remove. We've got this little cover here. We need to pull that off, like so. And that's where our tube will fit from the machine, like so. And as you can see, it's got quite a long tube on it, so you could have this a little bit further away from the machine if you wanted to. Also, you've got a long cable on here as well. For me, it's going to sit just next to the machine for a minute, and I don't know if you can tell that, but it's actually got little rubber feet that actually move, so it shouldn't vibrate and shake your workbench to pieces. So just get this one plugged in. Now, theoretically, you could probably shorten that if you wanted to. If you've not got any plans on moving the pump or anything, or you have it right next to the machine like I have at the minute. Although I might go stick it in the corner just over there, so it is a little bit out of the way, so it's not just here, and then I can route the cable, etc., around the 3D printer. So that's the air assist. And then we've got our laser module. Now this just slots in. It's got like a dovetail bit, and we can push that in and down, and we can lock it in place with those thumb screws. Now it does seem a bit stiff to go all the way down at the minute, so might need a little bit of persuasion to do that, to get that to go down onto your work surface. Obviously, we do have this little gauge, so that when you put something in here, you need to make sure that your focal length is correct. So that does need to go down a bit further. I'll try and work out why that's not going down at the minute. Might just be that the paint's a bit thick or something and it's not going down nicely, or I've got it in there slightly crooked. Both these thumb screws are fully out, but that doesn't want to wiggle down any further, so I will check that out in a bit, but that won't stop us from connecting everything up. So we've got our cable connector here, and you notice that we've already got some cable ties attached to this as well. Now that's just going to plug into the module we have here, and I will just undo, got some clips here that are holding this airline in place, and just undo one section of that, and then that gives us enough clearance so we can put this one in. We'll only go in one way and it will click in like so. And then we've got the airline. There's a little cap on the top of this module. Just going to pull that up, and then that will just plug in like so. Make sure that's all the way in. And then we can obviously clip this or cable tie it with the supplied cable ties so that they will conform and go together nicely. And then we can clip the electrical cable from the module. We can clip that power cable all along there where we unclipped the air cable from previously. And as you can see, that'll move forward and backwards or left and right absolutely fine. Now, it might need a little bit of training so that it sits at the back, because otherwise it might catch when it comes to coming across here. Though it's probably not ever going to come across that far. Certainly don't plan on doing anything that sort of size, but obviously you can do things in the center quite small, and it's probably ever going to do that sort of motion. But obviously depending on what sort of size items you're cutting, then this can do very small to quite large. I think it's about a 400 by 400 cut area. So you can do pretty good size items on this, or obviously multiply whatever small item you're doing several times over. Obviously these racks would have been cut on something similar to this, or probably a bigger one, and obviously you could do multiple bits of that all in one go as well. I know I do want another one of these, but I might even have a go at making my own now that I've got this little device. So that's the air connected, that's the laser module connected. I still need to check why that's not going down far enough, but that's pretty much setup done. So that is now fully assembled. And say I need to make sure that goes down further. I'll check that in just a second. But now we're pretty much ready to cut, or at least certainly load a file and get it to do some movement. So any last thing we really need to do before effectively we're ready to cut is plug some power into it. Now I do have this quite large chunky transformer. We have a multi-point connector, and that connects on this side here. I'll probably take a photo of that section and put it up on screen. We've got the SD card reader, we've got a USB connection, we've got power, and we've got the power switch. So this is just a standard kettle lead that will plug into there. And we've got our UK plug on there. Now in our little box of tools, we do have some more Velcro cable ties, which are useful. Got a few spare screws in there, got the card reader, The most important thing in there though, we've got some keys. And this basically has a safety lockout. So you've got the on and off here. Then you can take the key away, so it's just always on, and obviously also that you don't break it as well. And we've got the emergency stop there as well. So just turned the machine on. We've got the key there. I'll turn it on, and we've also got the emergency stop. And there we are. We have power, and you can hear the pumps running. So we've got the air assist running, and again, that can change how much air assist there actually is. And you can see that we've got a flashing light here depending on whether the air assist is high enough or not. And if we turn it up, we've got 3 green lights across there. Right, it's been a day or 2 since I've set the laser cutter up, and as you can see, I have actually been using it. Now, as you can also see, that things have moved around a little bit in the workshop here. That's mainly to accommodate the laser cutter. So moved a few things around. The 3D printer that I've had for years have now moved there, and I've moved the resin printer next to it. So I've got a nice little trio here now on the workbench. The reason for moving this to here, it was easier for the window access. With the enclosure, now we have a big metal frame. Now this becomes a 700 by 700 millimeter box, which doesn't quite fit here. And obviously it increases the footprint of the machine quite a bit. Now the good thing about this, it does just come apart. So it's easy enough to store away. However, I don't fancy putting that up and taking it apart every single time. So what I've done, I've decided that I'm just going to use the cover itself. The cover has a nice big window at the front there, and also on the top. But the main thing with this, it has a fan for extraction. And we have a bit of ducting there that we can just chuck out the window. And that does a really good job at containing a lot of the smoke and the fumes. And all I do is just tuck it in down around the sides. And you don't need to worry about it catching fire or anything like that. It's all flame retardant and fireproof, etc. So the laser's not going to cause any issues with that. And it does hold itself up quite nicely over the top of the laser, so it doesn't interfere with any of the movement and things like that. Now, I will have a little bit of a video of what I was cutting out. It is in portrait mode, so apologies on that. I was planning on doing another video, but at the minute I don't think I'm going to have time to do any more cutting until maybe even the new year, or maybe sometime over Christmas. But I do want to try and get this video done and out. There is a bit of a delay on this video. Obviously, I bought this in the Black Friday sales, end of November. It is now the 4th of December. And one of the reasons I'm delaying the video going out is because what I've done is actually for the wife's birthday present. So her birthday is a few days' time, and I've created a box. And within this box, there is a little pendant, also done out of wood. And that's all done on this laser cutter. And I have to say, really, really impressed with it. Now, I haven't tested it, taxed it too much. This is only 3.6 mil. This is I just picked up from B&Q. It's a nice hardwood ply. So it's got a hardwood top cover. Now, the printer, the cutter did come with a little bit of basswood. This is 2 mil. So even straight out of the box, you could do a little bit of testing and playing with the laser right out of the box. As you saw, it's super simple to set up. It was probably up and set up, finished in about 10 or so minutes, with the one exception. You obviously saw that that laser there was jamming. The reason for that was the mounting. It just didn't seem to fit very well. So what I ended up doing was just getting a file and filing out a little bit of that rear mounting, and the laser now sits in really nicely. Got all the cables routed and they're all nicely cable tied together. It does come with some extra cable ties. It's obviously got the air assist as well, and the air assist pump I've just put behind the 3D printer. As I said earlier, it does have a nice long cable, so you don't need to have it right next to the cutter, and it can just be tucked out of the way. Obviously, with this one, it does have quite a few safety features, which is great. One of the things that drew me to it. So it will check for fire, etc. It does have an emergency stop. It has a key lock system and a power button, so no one can just come along and accidentally start firing off lasers, etc. just by hitting the play button. So it's got like a play pause button on the top there, on the side, for obviously starting and stopping you cutting. With the fan, I've not got this plugged into a computer. You can plug it directly into your computer, but I'm probably just going to use the SD card. So what I'm using the USB port for, it powers the fan. So when the fan's plugged in and this is on, it will actually run the fan as well, so you don't need a secondary power supply. It is just a USB fan, so if you do need a plug, then just go for that. But I found just plugging it into this works absolutely fine. But as for the cutter itself, I find it really, really simple to use. It's the very first one I've ever used, very first one I've ever had. But I quickly knocked this up in Lightburn. I'm not going to go into Lightburn and show you how that all works. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube already for that, and that's what I'm pretty much using when it comes to doing things like this. So I am learning Lightburn as I go, but it does a really good job. Really simple to knock up a box and get it to all work and join together correctly. And the machine, absolutely fine. I did a few tests when I originally got it and done a few test bits on this basswood, just to find out what the settings are. I haven't actually run a Lightburn test. I probably will be doing that at some point soon. And the Lightburn test will basically do a grid of panels, and you can basically check it if it's going to cut or engrave, and get your settings dialed in nicely based on the laser that you have. Obviously, this is the 22 watt laser. It did come with a 1.6 laser, which I believe should do some better engraving for things like photos and things like that. It's just a nicer laser, I believe. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I've seen online, doing a bit of testing and checking. But I haven't even tried the 1.6 lasers yet, so that might be a future video at some point. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you won't miss out on things like that. But yeah, if you want to get on for yourself, check out the links in the description. I'll put all the links there. I might even put links in there for the resin printer and 3D printer as well, so you can check out the other items that I have here in the workshop. So obviously, if you like this video, please do remember to hit the like button below and give us a massive thumbs up. As I said, do hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when I release new videos and if I get any more toys for the workshop. Right next to that subscribe button though, for a small monthly fee, you can hit the join button and become part of the workshop crew. And that'll give you a little bit of exclusive access to some behind the scenes videos, as well as some early access to some videos. This might even go out as an early access video as well. So it might go out to my members first beforehand. If you don't want to pay a monthly fee, absolutely fine. Another way you can support the channel is by checking out the merch that I've got, and that's going to be below as well. And maybe get yourself a hoodie. It's certainly turning a little bit chilly here in the workshop now, so this will keep me nice and warm. But that is it. That is it for the laser cutter and engraver at the moment. Absolutely fantastic machine from what I've used so far. So all I have to say is thank you very much for watching. I do hope to see you again, and I hopefully see you around. Cheers.